Pumpkin Hill has always been one of my favorite Sonic levels. The aesthetic alone just makes me love it so much. Halloween is my favorite holiday ever. Sure, I might prefer the winter holiday season overall, but that's around 4 months of holidays that I don't really celebrate outside of New Year's. I guess maybe Christmas, but not really in the traditional sense, you know? I just like the festive vibes of that entire season, a feeling that just lasts all the way from November to February. Yeah, I count Valentine's Day as a winter holiday, fight me. Video game levels based on my favorite single holiday have always been awesome to me though. The creepy yet goofy feeling of the Halloween season is just always a treat. I've probably spent hours exploring and messing around in Pumpkin Hill. It's a level I always came back to, even before focusing on the Chao Garden. Hey there, I'm Ashley. Happy Halloween and welcome back to AshyMuted, the show about the Chao Garden. Today I just wanted to chill and talk about Pumpkin Hill for a bit while I raise Crystal, the Onyx Chao I introduced last episode. I want to do something with her that's unique, and the idea I had lent itself well to a Halloween special. There are a lot of interesting landmarks in Pumpkin Hill, but there's a specific one that I wanted to talk about today. When I started focusing on the Chao Garden, I wanted to find the best levels to quickly get each small animal, and when I got to the skeleton dog, I found this spot in Pumpkin Hill. You can get to it in about 15 seconds, and there's always one here. This being a graveyard never really stood out to me that much when I was younger, but it's something that really sticks with me now. I've never really thought about death in the Sonic series, despite this game showing a 12-year-old girl getting shot and her best friend falling to Earth from space. So, what's my idea for Crystal? Well, the garden is starting to get a little bit crammed, and I don't want to run out of space for more Chao in the future. So I can either send a Chao to another garden, or I could export their files, basically deleting them from the game, but keeping their files around in a folder somewhere. Now, this is a tough decision to make, so I kind of want Crystal to be the judge of this series, if that makes sense. Every time I want to make a decision, I'll take the Chao I'm making that decision for down to the Dark Garden to meet with Crystal, and then she'll decide their fate. And by that, I mean I'll flip a few coins. So why does this graveyard stick out to me now? Well, I think it's because Sonic Frontiers made me think about death in the series way more than I ever did in the past. It's a game where the final boss is just called The End. It's a manifestation of death. It talks about how it's wiped out countless civilizations, countless worlds. It wiped out most of the race that became the Chao twice. It's the most recent game in the series, and it ties into the thing that I center the main show of my channel around, so it really sticks in my mind. This episode was written before we found out that The End was a fraud. Why did that statement even need to be made? Like, something, it was literally just better writing when it was more ambiguous. Like, Ian Flynn is very hit or miss with his writing. I don't think he's terrible, like a lot of people do, but the over-reliance on, like, references and then stuff like this, it's, like, he has his moments, you know? Like, The End's monologue before we found out that it was just being a fraud, like, that was amazing. And, like, there are a lot of good moments in the IDW comics and Frontiers. I assume, like, later Archie books have some good moments too, but I've actually never read any Archie books because I just don't vibe with the ideas they have, you know? They're just not my thing. Cool if you're into them. I'm not, like, happy they're gone out of spite. I'm just happy they're gone because we got the IDW books out of it. Okay, rant over. Well, I have the idea for Crystal now, but it would be pretty boring if she just looked like this. I'm gonna make her the scariest Chao possible. I'll give her a skeleton dog first, so I can give her a certain hat, then I'll give her a bat to make her float, and a half fish to replace her emotion ball with a flame. What's the hat I'll give her? the skull. You can't get this from the black market. Instead, you have to dig with Knuckles or Rouge in the Dark Garden. So here she is, Crystal, the judge of the Chao Garden. What's this graveyard even for, anyway? It's really high up. Maybe Pumpkin Hill was once an area ruled by the Babylonians. Maybe it wasn't always like this, and some natural disaster caused all of these spires of land to rise, or maybe the land around them to fall? Why is the skeleton dog here? Is this a pet cemetery? Maybe it's the spirit of a dog wanting to reunite with its owner in the afterlife. This one small area that could easily be overlooked and written off as just a part of level design has so much mystery behind it just from the placement of the skeleton dog in the surrounding area. It might be a bit silly to focus on such a small part of a level in a game, but I love the way Sonic Team used the environment to tell a story and provide mysteries here. It's the little things that can elevate the experience the most, you know? With Crystal introduced, I think it's only right that I give her an opportunity to really show her role in the show. There's only one Chao right now that I think needs judgment. I've been ignoring Beta Soup since his introduction because of how weak he is, so he'll be the first to face Crystal. If he stays around and moves to a different garden, I'll give him another chance and actually raise him up like an actual good Chao parent should. So it's time for the very first coin flip. Heads, Beta Soup goes to another garden, and tails, he's exported. And that's tails. I guess that's it, huh? You know, I never really gave him a chance or really paid any attention to him, but I'm kinda gonna miss Beta Soup just being around. I mean, he'll come back someday, probably, assuming I don't forget to put his files back in at some point when I'm, like, changing the Chao Garden, like, once it's gotten so big that, like, I just need to be swapping Chao out to make, you know, things interesting so that it's not just, like, the same lineup all the time. Hopefully I don't forget to do that. That'd be pretty weird, you know, the first one out and never coming back in. That would be a shame.